Mother's Day. It is the video of Mother's Day lesson from snapshots for class 11 English. It is the second video in which I will tell you something about the mother's love and how mother is managed by one of our neighbors, that is Annie Pearson, Mrs. Fitzgerald, her neighbor, who is a very well managed woman who knows how to solve the problem of Annie Pearson, who is mentally nervous and does not get the solution to the problem how to keep her children and husband in a disciplined way. So here sometimes we have to adopt some other ways to correct our own persons. Mrs. Fitzgerald is a fortune teller. She has learned this art from East. She is reading Annie's fortune. She advises her to be strict and become the boss in her family. Actually, Annie is not treated well by her family members. At present, Mrs. Annie Pearson has been reduced to the status of an unpaid domestic servant who does all the work at home without even being requested for it or being thanked later on. Mrs. Fitzgerald outlines the plan to reform Annie's family. Mrs. Fitzgerald is very angry the way Annie is treated like a servant by her family members. One day she suggests that they should temporarily exchange their personalities by using a magic spell that she had learned in the East. She takes Annie's hand and speaks some magic words. A transformation takes place and the personality of Mrs. Fitzgerald shifts into the body of Annie and vice versa. Annie is scared at this very change, but Mrs. Fitzgerald assures her that the change is reversible. Mrs. Fitzgerald, now in the body of Annie, stays at Annie's house and sends Annie in Mrs. Fitzgerald's body to her house where she can relax. Doris gets a shock. Doris, the daughter of Mrs. Fitzgerald, Mrs. Pearson, a beautiful girl aged 20, enters the house. She gets shocked at seeing her mother smoking and playing cards alone. Doris asks about her yellow dress, but her mother does not respond. She asks for tea and her mother answers rudely, telling her to iron her dress herself and make tea if she wants to. Doris gets angry but gets a good scolding from her mother. Then Annie makes fun of for having projecting teeth and being stupid. She tells Doris frankly that at her age she would have found somebody better than Charlie Spence. This strange behavior is too much for Doris and she goes out of the room and asks her if everything is alright with her. She replies that she has never felt better in her life. When Sarah inquires why she has not got the tea ready, and replies that she wanted to change and that is why she has not bothered to make tea. Cyril announces that he is short of time, so she should get the tea ready immediately. Cyril further inquires whether she has got his clothes ready. When she says no, he gets anguished. He asks his mother what will happen if they all talked like she was talking that day. Annie coldly replies that all three of them always talk to her like that. So, what was wrong with her talking in the same tone? She says that if he does not want to do anything at home, he does not have to. She adds that she has become a member of the union so that she gets what she deserves. The argument between Doris and Mrs. Annie Pearson. Doris appears on the scene wearing a shoulder wrap. Annie remarks sarcastically about her dress. An argument starts between Doris and Annie. Doris comments that if she was looking awful, it was due to her mother only, who made her cry. Then Annie inquires if any strong beer was left. Cyril is shocked to know that his mother wants to drink it. He is unable to understand what is going on. Now discussion starts between Doris and Cyril. Both Doris and Cyril are filled with horror and shock at the mother's behavior. Both wonder what has happened to mother suddenly. This is not good at all. And they start giggling at the thought of what will happen if their mother keeps behaving in this weird manner in front of their father. They start thinking all about it. Annie's remarks about her family. Annie remarks that it was high time they grew up. Doris then asked her if they had done something wrong, and it tells them that it is actually her children's and her husband's behavior that bothered her the most. They always came and asked for something and went without bothering to know whether she wanted to go out or how she was feeling. She always does her best. She always does her best to keep everybody happy, but all three of them were not bothered about her. And he also remarks that while the three of them do a job of 8 hours a day with 2 days off at the weekends, she goes on working 7 days round the clock. She warns them that on weekends she will also be going to take 2 days off, and Doris is really worried about what will happen if her mother takes a holiday on weekends. However, Annie assures Doris that she would do some work on Saturday and Sunday only when she was requested for it and thanked for whatever she does. She might go out for weekends also, as she was fed up of staying in the house for years together. None of them has ever bothered to take her out. When she is really angry, she is not satisfied with living in the same condition without going out, and everyone has desire to do something like that. Mr. George Pearson is shocked. Mrs. shocked at his wife's behavior. Mr. George Pearson now enters the house. He is about 50 years old and considers himself as a very important person. He gets annoyed at his wife, who is sipping beer when he enters. He tells her that he does not want any tea as he has to go to the club for supper. The wife tells him that she has not prepared any tea anyway. And this George gets annoyed that his wife is not bothered about him. He expects that she should come and serve him in the same fashion as she used to. What has happened really to her? He is surprised, astonished, and stunned at this moment. And she tells him that people at the bar in the club call him By-Amiya Pearson. Why? Because is self-important behavior. George cannot believe what Annie says and confirms the truth from his son Cyril. Cyril also tells the truth, and he tells her son that sometimes it does people good to have their feelings hurt. If your feeling is hurt, certainly you try to overcome that very weakness. On hearing a knock, Cyril checks who it is. Who it is, and reports to Annie that it is Mrs. Fitzgerald at the door, and tells him to let her come in. So, when that Fitzgerald comes, you will have another view of life that you will experience. Thank you, children. Thank you.